My name is Evoke. I live in UK, well, Kent, Dartford, Kent, and I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for the last 4 years or so. I think I did the Supermom course in 2000, just when the lockdown started. So a bit of background about me. I started off working, I have about 18 years experience in recruitment. So I used to work for the government, DWP, Department for Work and Pension. And my skill set was all about recruiting, particularly young people. So trying to get young people back into work. I did things like CV writing, interview workshops, how to dress up for an interview, anything to do with forward facing. I was always great at doing presentations, love telling people what to do. So, hey, it just came naturally for me that was my thing. But having done that role for about 18 years, it just got to a point where I thought, is this all there is to it? I felt I still had a lot more to give that wasn't in recruiting. My brother works in Salesforce. He's a solution architect. And he kept telling me, why don't you on Salesforce? It would be great for you. And I kept telling him, nope. He started telling me about Salesforce way back, I think, 98, 99. No, not 98, sorry, 2008, 2018, 2019. But I just thought, no, it's not for me because I know he's in the tech space and I have no clue about tech. I don't even know how to navigate through an Excel sheet. For if I need to do something in Excel, I have to Google it, what is VLOOKUP and stuff like that. So anything to do with tech just wasn't for me. So let's not even talk about social media. Definitely not for me. So, but he kept telling me that because he knew me, knew my skill sets. He said, I'll be fantastic there, that I don't really need to know how to do anything techie, that with my skill sets, I'm good with people. I know how to talk. I love problem solving, that I'll be able to do it. But I just kept saying no. But it got to a point in 2020 where I was just really fed up. I'm like, you know what? I need to do this. So he invited me to the World Tour. I think that was at the end. Yeah, World Tour 2020. I think it was January, February. I can't remember when. And when I went there, that was where I met Heather. That was where Heather got her golden hoodie. I remember very well. So that was my first time. I met her. I was wondering, what is golden hoodie? What is Supermom and all that? So there was a Supermom stand there. I met her. I met, oh gosh, the other lady who is French. She used to live in France. I can't remember her name. I can still see her face very well. But yeah, met a few of them and just asked questions. And I was really blown away. That was where I got the understanding that, okay, it's not all tech. And one thing that I left there with was the slogan of click, not code. And I'm like, okay, so if it's possible for me to have a career in Salesforce without actually learning how to code and all that, then great. So fast forward, I signed up for Supermom course and I started March. I was the March cohort in 2020. So just when the lockdown started. So for me, it was perfect because my workplace, everyone was grounded at home, but Supermom, we were still going on live and doing the course. And the more I learned, it just was so exciting for me. And just to reiterate, before I actually started Supermom, my brother did send me all this trailhead stuff to, just give me an idea. And of course, I had no clue. I was reading and I didn't really understand. And all he kept saying was, just keep reading, you understand one day. And it just didn't make sense. How do you read something and not understand and understand one day? So when I started the course, it started making sense. I was like, okay, yeah, this is what objects are. This is what all this stuff are. And then I decided to try my hand at the certification. So in April, I think 22 or something like that, 22nd, I did the admin exam and I passed. And then when I told my brother, he was like, yeah, well done. Why not try the app builder? I'm like, no, thank you. I think one is enough. I need to be able to understand what Supermom are doing. But he said, well, it's almost the same thing. A lot of the questions are alike. So I thought, okay, fine. So went back to Trailhead. And in addition to still doing my weekly assignments in Supermom, I went through the Trailheads for the app builder. And I took the exam and I passed again. So I know mine sounded like a fairy tale thing, but it wasn't that easy. I know I put in lots and lots of hours of studying and trying to do it. And yeah, so I started the Supermom course, did the work experience. I was lucky enough to get 2 work experience. I got one with an external company, which had to do with all data loading. And I felt, no, there has to be more to Salesforce than just doing data loads. So spoke to the team, and Heather was kind enough to ask me to do a work experience with economic change. It was at the time, yeah, to work with her. And yeah, so that was what I used on my CV, put all that experience down, because at the end of the day, my skill set from recruiting has already taught me that experience is experience. You don't need to be in paid work to actually put it on your CV. As long as you've done any form of work experience, you put it on that CV. So I put on everything that I did with the Supermom and all, and I used that to apply for a job with Mercyship and as Salesforce admin. And I got it. The week I was to start work, the first day, met with my manager, and she gave me a long laundry list of things that they wanted done. By the time that meeting was over, I was hyperventilating. I felt, nope, this is not for me. I can't do this. What? Because I think I talked the talk in the interview and she loved me. And I'm like, oh my God, I do not have the skill set. I really don't know how to do this. And called my brother again and I told him, you know what? I don't think Salesforce is for me. I don't think I'm the right person for this job. I had a chronic case of imposter syndrome. And up to now, every now and again, it still pops its head. For example, I'm starting a new job next week. And this week, I'm asking myself, my God, am I the right person for the job? Am I going to live up to expectation? What if they find out I don't really know as much? And all these questions just keep flooding me. So anyway, my brother calmed me down and told me, you know what, just start the job. And, he just kind of encouraged me. And now, looking 2 years down the road, I'm actually laughing at myself because a lot of what he said was true. And it was just a matter of, I'm not alone. And I think that's one of the fantastic things about Salesforce, the Ohana. You're never alone. There is the Trailblazer community, which I used a lot of. We had our WhatsApp group on Supermom, and then I joined Salesforce Saturday through LinkedIn. So every Saturday, talk on MPSP and things to learn. And I met new contacts there where we then networked. And so all this made it easy for me to now start the role. And I just took it like day after day in learning what I needed to learn to do my job. 6 months into the job, and I worked with the US part of it because it's a global company. They were like, right, Voki, we think you have more skill set than just being an admin. Can you come and be the customer success manager and teach us about Salesforce and tell the other global offices about Salesforce, how to use Salesforce? I was like, whoa, no, thank you. I'm just starting this role. Can I just get my hands, my feet in the water and, just take my time? But I think I'll pause here to say in my journey, I think I was really blessed to have people who really supported me, starting from my mentor in Supermom, Catherine Buchanan. She is amazing. I still keep in touch with her. She's amazing and she really helped me. She wasn't feeding me answers, but she was, like guiding me week by week in the homework. And when I run into any difficulty, she will ask, okay, have you tried this? Have you? And it used to frustrate me. I'm like, my God, can you just tell me what to do? And I have been on this. But no, she just like guided me week after week. And even after I left, we're still in touch and all that. And same thing, again, when I was offered this role, I said, hey, Catherine, look, I've been offered this role and I'm going to reject it. And it's like she saw more potential in myself than I did. And she was like, no, you can do this. I've seen it in you. And it always amazes me. How come people can see things in me and I can see it in myself? I look in the mirror every day and why don't I see this stuff? So, but anyway, she encouraged me and I took on the role of the customer success, which was kind of a promotion. And it was amazing because I got to meet people from different countries. And I'm very, like I said, I'm really good with presentation and all that. And it was just natural for me. And that kind of moved me away from the configuration space. So what I did was, in order not to lose those skills, I was still doing building on the side and case studies, and not to forget how to do the dreaded flows and the permission sets and security and all that. And yeah, so I did that and I thought, okay, I've built enough skill set, and I wanted to go back into config. So I applied to a consultancy, The Beast. And as you know, consultancy is really competitive, and it's a whole different ball game. And I got a managed service consultant with Sirico, which is a fantastic Salesforce consulting partner. And I was with them for the 2 years. And it's been, no, from 2021, sorry. And yeah, it's been amazing because I got to work with different clients, different orgs. It was while I was there, I worked, and they don't really, and I think in a way it's challenging to work with consultancy, but if you're someone who wants to grow, if you're someone who really are serious about being in a Salesforce space, I would recommend trying to do a job with consultancy because you are thrown into the deep end and you learn a lot. So while I was there, I had clients who had Service Cloud, who had Experience Cloud, Sales Cloud, and all these clouds. And so by the time I started reading about it and, okay, this is a client and this is their requirements, I had to now go and research, go into trailheads, read more about it and all that. And yeah, it taught me a lot about different orgs, case management, module grant management. I'm like, wow, MPSP is so huge. So it was while I was there that, having worked with all these clients, I tried my hand at the rest of the certs. So while I was there, I got the sales, the service, experience, marketing, email, MPSP, because I had I already had the hands-on experience of working there. And yes, it was challenging, like I said, but because I love being thrown in the deep end. And so for me, throw me in the deep end, I'll drown, drink some water, get my head back up, and just keep swimming. And that was how I got through. And so in meeting clients and all that, I found out that I loved the BA part of it, the business analysis. I was good at asking questions, good with people, good at requirement gathering. And like I said at the beginning, I love telling people what to do, as in, okay, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. And my kids, I drive them crazy, but hey. Yeah, so I just thought, okay, why not try the BA line? So went through all the trailheads on the BA, and the more I read, the more I loved it. And I found out these are things I do anyway. I have to gather requirements. I have to put them into user stories, go back to the client, get them to agree on the user stories, and tell them, okay, we've locked this down. I'm so used to them coming back, scope creep, as in, okay, no, can we have this? I'm like, no, you can't have this, but you can have this. The art of negotiating, trying to, so I just felt, okay, I think I've got this nailed down. And while I was in that, a recruiting agency contacted me to say, hey, this role has come up, is Salesforce business analyst. Would you like to apply? This was 3 months ago. And I was like, okay, I'm beginning to look at it, but I wasn't sure. Again, the imposter syndrome thing came up. No, Voki, just stay where you are. You've got the skills. You've not really done the BA. Yes, you've, dabbled in it, but this is like a full BA. And so I gave excuses like, no, thank you. I don't think it's for me. But the guy was persistent. He kept coming and saying, no, really, I've read your CV and I think you're good and I've spoken to you and I think you're brilliant. So anyway, he put me in front of the employer. Employer loved the first interview, my manager, and I had a second interview and a third interview, and then I got the job. And then the imposter syndrome started again. Oh my God, how do I tell them that? No, I don't think I'm the right person for the job. So, but anyway, fast forward, present day, I'm starting the role next week. And so I'm excited. Like I said, it's BA and anything to do with requirement gathering. Love it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever challenges that would bring. Yes, it really helped a lot because even when I started Supermom and the homework was pouring in, I had that thought of, oh my God, how am I going to do this? For example, I think homework started from week 3, where you needed to build objects and build fields and all that. Now that I look back, would you believe that it took me a week to learn how to do the objects? And it was just so hard for me to understand objects and fields and the permissions and all that. And now, of course, a lot of super moms who've started, we know that, okay, yeah, that should take you, what, less than 5 minutes? But it took me a week to get through it. And I always ran to my mentor. I would send her a message. So we had this regular call time. And for us, what was suitable was a Sunday evening because she had work, I had family work and all that. So we had to find a time. But I always looked forward to that hour that I got to spend with her because I will make a list of all the things that I found challenging. And then I come with her. And then she told me her experience, how she started, because she works with Salesforce, where she started from and the difficulty. And one thing she always told me over and over again was muscle memory. Just keep at it. Just keep going. It may not make sense now. Just keep going and it will make sense later. And honestly, I felt like boxing her through the Zoom thing, but she was right. And it's true, it's all muscle memory. The more I did it, the more I then started to understand, and it became like second nature. So yes, having a mentor was really good. And then when I started my job and I had to do like all those formulas, I don't like formulas. I don't like flows. There, I've said it. I don't. So that is where the community came in. And there's this particular group who owes me a bear. You might know it, but I will say this now. If you do not know that group and you have issues on formulas and flows, join that group because the guy there, he is amazing. So I will put in a question there that I'm trying to build a formula where ABC, XYZ, I put that all for him. And I think he's in America. So I'm there in front of my computer just waiting for when he's going to come online. And at 9, ring. And then in less than a minute, he solved it. And so the community was really, really important. And I made sure I joined all the communities that were related to my job. So I joined the communities for nonprofits. I joined the one for Experience Cloud, service, admin, and all that. And of course, the LAUG, the London Admin User Group as well, that meets every month. Very important as well. In the first part of my journey, all these were important. Unfortunately, now I don't have the time to attend them a lot because I've become so busy with work, but it was a very good place for me to start off. And I would advise or recommend anyone starting off in Salesforce, Supermom, get into the community. Like I said at the beginning, I don't like social media. You won't find me in LinkedIn. If you type in my name, you won't find me there. I'm sorry. I used to be on there, but I came out and I'm like, okay, enough. I still have a Facebook page, which I only visit once a year on my birthday because I know people will be sending in birthday messages. But that I'm a bad example. Don't take it from me. Please take it from Rachel. She's been in that space for over 10 years. But when I started my career, social media was important. And Supermom helped me to realize that, helped me to set up that LinkedIn, helped me to put myself out there, to advertise myself properly, what to say, what to put on there, how to follow other organizations. And that gave me the confidence to be out there, to sell myself more or less. Mm-hmm. And 3 years down the road, I know I have more confidence now. I have more confidence. I know what I want in Salesforce. Every now and again, still battle with imposter syndrome, but at least I know how to network, how to be out there. So my recommendation, please work closely with your mentors. Mm-hmm. And also networking, very important. And it's really true what they say about Salesforce people out there. People are really willing to help. They are ever ready to help. So, yeah. But if you don't reach out, you would know the help. Absolutely. Okay, so I did the course in 2020. I started, I think, March 2020 with Supermom. So it was March to roundabout September. Did my work experience with economic change. That was roundabout May, same year. Which was, yeah, so as you know, the work experience all depended on how long, well, it all depends on the work experience that you got and how long it takes on the organization. And following from that, I got the job with Mercyship. So I finished September with Supermom. I got the job round about October of the same year with Mercyship, and then was with them for a couple of months. Then in April 2021, I got the role as managed service consultant with Sirico. And I was there till last week, Friday, and starting a new role on Monday. with Essential, a media company, as Salesforce business analyst. Okay, so with my first role, and you know what they say, you never forget your first. So Mercyship is dear to me, and I'm still with them, by the way. I still work with them. Amazing non-profit organization, do a lot of amazing things. So I still support and I still work there. So with Mercyship, it's a company based in the US. So there's no office to go to. So more or less, it's remote. Though they have a UK office, but there was no requirement to go into the UK office. Now, one of the things I must say that attracted me to Salesforce, and what I heard Heather say during when she received her golden hoodie, was that remote part. So the things that really popped out for me when she spoke were remote working, the flexibility, and then the mom part of it. So I can be a mom, I can earn good salary and still be at home. Now, as at that time, I was commuting. I was already living in Kent. My kids' school were in London, and I was commuting back and forth on the A2, and it was horrible. I mean, I spent a better part of my morning and evenings on the motorway, to the point where my kids knew most of the songs on the radio station because we were always singing to them at the radio station. So I didn't want that commute anymore. So that was another thing that attracted me to Salesforce. And now started the Mercyship, like I said, it was remote. Get to see my family, get to see my kids go to school. So school eventually moved local, which helped. So school is 5 minutes away. So I'm able to walk my kids to school in the morning, though they don't want me walking them to school anymore. Okay. But yeah, and it's so flexible that I could walk between meetings. Now, they are not fixed on, you have to do a 9 to 5. And I think a lot of organizations now are realizing that trying to box people into doing a 9 to 5 while you work remotely is not helping. If you can get an organization where they don't really care what hours you do, but as long as you do your hours and you do the work. So that's where I found myself, not only with Mercyship, but every other organization I've worked with after that, where that flexibility is there. So I could decide to start my day at 7 a.m. So maybe 7 to 3 p.m. because I have something to do in the evening. Or I could start from 8 to 4:30, but still have space in between to say, okay, right, sorry, I need to take my daughter for her medical appointment, or I have an appointment. So I'll be offline from maybe 11 to 1, but I'm going to make up for that hours in the evening. So they were very flexible about it. And like I said, with me, I am very hardworking. I work hard and I make sure I give more than the hours I'm supposed to, which I'm sure is the same thing with a lot of people who work remotely. We work hard because you're at home, you don't get to travel. And so the employer gets more out of you. So it wasn't an issue. And then when I worked with the consultancy, they only required that we come in once in a quarter. And that once in a quarter was for a meetup, company meetup, where we all get to meet, and then the company pay for us to have a meal or games, or I learned something called Django. Is it Jingo? So it's bingo, but for younger folks. I never knew this, somewhere in central London. So yeah, we go in once in 3 months, and that's still okay.
Yeah.
So that flexibility is there. Now, the key, what I found out in doing interviews and all that is, number one, look at the requirements of the job that you're applying for. If nothing on there says remote, then the likelihood is that they will expect you to go in. So ask questions. It's okay to ask questions before you apply for it. If it's through a recruitment agency, ask the agent who called you. Is this role remote, or is it likely to be remote? And then there are certain roles that are not remote that you could sell yourself to say, you know what, I have the skill set, and tell them what you do have, and they will be able to say, okay, right, you know what, we really want this person, and negotiate. And that was what I did with the role I'm starting next week. I negotiated. I have the skills XYZ. They wanted me to come into the office every week. I'm like, ain't gonna happen. But we negotiated it down to twice a month. All right. And okay, let's see how we go, because they looked at my skill set. And like I say, during the interview, confidently showed that this is what I can do. And They weren't really fussed about, okay, come to the office per se. What they're really looking at, a lot of organizations, is, can you do the job? A lot of it, yes, you might be able to do remote. Some of it, okay, you might need to come into the office once or twice. So it's very important to also be able to negotiate. Don't be inflexible to say, no, I want 100% remote. You may get it if you find a company outside UK, because they won't expect you to travel all the way there. If it's UK, just be prepared to negotiate.
Yeah.
And any organization that wants you will be prepared to negotiate. But for me, it's been the best part of working with Salesforce, the fact that I don't need to go into work 5 days a week. I get to spend more time with my family. I get to chill. And I get this lovely home office as well. So in order to get over the imposter syndrome and all that, I would definitely recommend Supermom, which I've actually been recommending. I think I have 3 of my friends are currently in Supermom. For someone who is brand new, I always say, always have that can-do attitude. I can do this. Look beyond the fear, look beyond the obstacle that you are going through and try it. Everyone has transferable skills. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you have more skills than you realize. You're able to time manage, you're flexible, you know how to wake up in the morning, get your kids ready, you have skills, you know how to manage money. You have lots of skill. And for me, for someone who doesn't like to code or whatever, I still don't know how to code. But in this space, I found my niche. And that's the fantastic thing about Salesforce. You will find your niche. If you don't want to configure, there is the BA part of it. There's the project management part. So there is endless the opportunities. So I will say go for it and don't let your fear stop you. And yes, Supermom really helped me. At the time, I thought, oh, the money was a lot, but it was an investment. Like I said, I had my brother encouraging me, and he told me, look, you're going to make that money back in a couple of months when you start work. And for me, that didn't sound, it sounded like, okay, how possible is that? But anyway, I went to the bank, borrowed the money, and invested into the course. And I looked at it as an investment. And he was right. With my first job, I was able to pay that back. And I might add that, yes, my first Salesforce job, I earned twice what I was earning in my last job, a place I'd been for 18 years, just to tell you how fantastic it was starting out in Salesforce as an admin. So I would say anyone coming in, don't be deterred by the amount. Look at it as an investment. But most importantly, you definitely need to have a can-do attitude. You need to know deep down that, yes, this is something that I really want, and fight for it. But if you enter and you're like, I'm not sure, okay, let me just dabble, and you look at your glass half empty, it's going to be exactly that. You will look at, oh gosh, I don't understand this, I don't understand that, and just, give up. But no, I would encourage anybody thinking of starting out in Salesforce not to give up. Try it out. You can't tell unless you try it. And like my mentor always told me, it's muscle memory. When you start, you go into trailhead, you might not understand a lot of the stuff. Keep going, just keep going, keep going. Eventually, it will make sense. It will make sense what an object is, what a field is, what is lightning, what is classic, what are profiles. It will make sense. It's like riding a bicycle. You do it over and over again until you get it. Once you get it, muscle memory, even years later, if you don't ride a bike, you will still remember how to ride a bike. And so it's all about the attitude, very important. And the next thing I'll tell newbies, surround yourself with people going where you want to go and go with them. I learned that early on. Find people who are passionate about Salesforce, and they will help you on your journey, because just looking at people who are passionate gave me the motivation to go week after week. Even when I felt, you know what, I still don't understand this. I've been in Google and YouTube for hours, just trying to figure out how to do an approval process in one of the homework in Supermom. But yeah, just little at a time. And I want to quelch something that people think that, oh, it's easy money and all that. No, it's not. Nothing in life that is good is free or gotten by doing nothing. No, It is hard work. I've had to study harder than I've ever studied. I've worked harder, but I'm happy where I am because I know that I've worked hard. And for anyone coming in, I will tell them the same thing. Hard work, it does pay off. Hard work, and when you're passionate about what you're doing, it's always the best. Being paid for something you love doing, hey, that's the best job, isn't it? So that would be my advice. You don't know Salesforce, but you think you can do it. I tell you, you can do it. Get in there, get the support, register for Supermom, get a mentor, and always put yourself out there. Network with all your fellow Supermamas and dadas and the community. I have, and so I have the certified admin, advanced admin, certified associate. I just thought, let me try that out and see what it was all about. But yes, the associate, the business analyst, experience cloud, marketing cloud email specialist, nonprofit cloud, platform app builder, sales cloud, and service cloud.